Hey guys, it's me, Northern Stars, aka Olivia Merson, and today I'm going to be doing a warrior. I'm going to be reading. This is something new that I've decided to do. So I have found every free super edition that I could find, and I'm going to do a series of just reading these entire books for you guys. So, in each video, I'm going to be doing one chapter because I have no strength, not the strength, to read an entire, 56 chapters for you guys. No offense. It's not that I'm tired of you guys. It's not that I hate you guys. It's just that I just don't have effort to do that. But just telling you that I am a fast reader. I fully accept that I am very, very, very fast. But I'm going to get my headphones on and then we can start because headphones have better quality and for you guys to hear me, and yeah. Okay, so the super edition that I'm going to be reading to you today is the super edition Bluestar's Prophecy. Bluestar is one of my favorite characters. She's so unique, and her backstory is just incredible. I spent at least 20 days reading the whole thing, and now I'm going to reread it for you guys. So yeah. And of course, all these Warriors books are by Erin Hunter, Erin Hunter is a series of authors, so it's not just one author. It's like at least five or 10 authors doing each chapter. So there are 45 chapters in this book. So yeah, I'm going to start reading chapter 1 for you guys. Or in the prologue. If Bluestar skidded to a halt at the top of the slope. The stench of dogs hit her throat. Below, the ferns shook as dark shapes swarmed through the gully. Fireheart's orange pelt flashed like flame through the greenery. He was keeping a good distance between himself and the pack, but the lead dog was breaking away and closing fast on the ThunderClan deputy. "No, not that one! You cannot use him as prey!" Bluestar flung herself down on the slope, gulping air, muscles burning. She weaved around the trees. Her paws skidded on the leafy forest floor. She hurtled through a swath of ferns, running blind as the leaves whipped her face. The gorge was close by. She could hear the river crashing between the sheer gray walls. Would Fireheart really be able to lure the dog pack over the edge? What if the pack's leader caught him first? She erupted from the bracken and scrabbled to the top to a stop in a clearing at the edge of the cliff. Leaves sprayed in the chasm as her paws slipped and slid. "Oh, StarClan, no!" Fireheart was dangling from the glistening jaws of a huge dog. The ThunderClan deputy struggled, spitting with fury. The dog shook him, its eyes shining with triumph, but its clumsy paws were skittering dangerously close to the edge of the gorge. "I will not let you destroy my clan," Bluestar roared. She flung herself at Fireheart's tormentor, slamming it first into its flank. The dog dropped Fireheart and spun around in surprise. Bluestar crouched and unsheathed her claws. Blood roared in her ears, but she felt no fear. She had not felt this alive for moons. She lashed out at the dog's muzzle. Her claws raked empty air. The dog was sliding away from her. The ground beneath its hind legs were crumbling. Shards of stone showered down the steep face of the gorge as the dog's paws scrabbled to get a grip. but its blunt claws were slithering on the leaf-strewn forest floor as its haunches dragged its hind legs back over the cliff. The pack thundered closer. Bluestar! Fireheart warned. But Bluestar didn't take her eyes from the pack leader. She was locked in its panicked gaze as the dogs began to crash through the bracken behind her. The pack was upon them. Bluestar dug her claws into the soft earth as the air suddenly soured with fear. The lunging dogs had seen the gorge, and their howls turned to yelps as they skidded at its edge. Bluestar held her ground as a desperate yell echoed down the chasm. The first dog had fallen. Its body thumped against the cliff. There was a moment of quiet before she heard it splash into the roaring water below. Bluestar narrowed her eyes, still fixed on the pack leader. You should never have threatened ThunderClan, she hissed. Suddenly, the dog stretched its head forward and grasped her foreleg in its jaws. She felt the ground slide beneath her as the dog dragged her with it over the edge. Wind roared around her, blasting her pelt as she fell. The river swirled and foamed below. She scrabbled desperately against the cold, wet air, and struggled free of the dog just a moment before she hit the water. The freezing river knocked the breath from her body. Blind, she struggled against the current, fighting her way toward the air. Her heart gripped by panic. Goosefeather's prophecy burned in her mind. Water will destroy you. Her thick fur, heavy with water, dragged her down. The river tumbled all around her. She didn't know which way was up. Her lungs screamed for air. Terror scorched through her. She was going to drown. There in the foaming waters of the gorge. Don't give up! A meow sounded clear and familiar through the roar of water. Oakhart? The father of her kids was murmuring in her ears. It's like running through the forest. Let your paws do the work. Raise your chin. Let the water carry you up. His voice seemed to lift her, calming her panic, and she found that her paws were churning steadily through the water, her heart tight with pain. So as she strained to raise her chin, till at last the wind whipped her face. Coughing and gagging, she snatched a gulp of air. That's the way, Oakhart whispered in her ear. His voice sounded so gentle, so welcoming. Perhaps she should just let the river sweep her away and into the softness of his fur. Bluestar, swim! Head for the bank! Oakhart's meow was sharp. Our kids are waiting. Our kids! The thought of them hit her like a lightning bolt. You can't leave them without saying goodbye. Energy surged through Bluestar, and she began to fight once more. A dark shape buffeted her, knocking her underwater again, but she struggled to the surface, spluttering as water filled her mouth and caught in her throat. The rolling body of the dog tumbled past her and was swept downstream. If a dog can't fight this current, how can I? The treetops blurred overhead as the river swirled her along. You can do it, Oakhart urged. Bluestar churned at the water, but her exhausted legs felt like sodden leaves flailing uselessly. Suddenly, teeth grasped her scruff. Was Oakhart going to drag her to safety? Bluestar blinked water from her eyes, long enough to glimpse orange fur. Fireheart! The ThunderClan deputy had gotten hold of her. Keep your head up, he growled through clenched jaws. Bluestar tried to help him, but her pelt was heavy and her paws were too tired to fight the weight of water. Firestar's teeth tore at her scruff as the water dragged her down. Then another body brushed hers. One of the dogs? More teeth bit her scruff. Paws clutched at her flanks, heaving her upward. She felt the strong, gentle movement of cats around her. Was StarClan carrying her to its hunting grounds? Barely conscious, she let herself be dragged through the water until pebbles grabbed her flank, and she felt solid earth beneath her. Paws and teeth heaved her up on the gritty shore and laid her on on the soft grass. Her chest felt as if it were packed with stones. making each breath a struggle. Her eyes stung, too filled with water to see. Bluestar? She recognized the meow of Mistyfoot. What about Stonefur? Is he here too? We're both here. A strong paw pressed against her flank. Elkhart had been right. Their kids had been waiting for her. Bluestar fought to open her eyes. She could just make out the shape of Stonefur. His wide shoulders were silhouetted against the green canopy of trees. So much like his father. Mistyfoot stood beside him, her sodden pelt clinging to her frame. Ugh. Is she okay? Came the voice of her daughter. Fireheart was leaning in. Bluestar, it's Fireheart. You're all right now. You're safe. Bluestar hardly heard him. She was gazing at her kids. You saved me, she murmured. Shh, don't try to talk, Mistyfoot urged. But there's too much to say. Bluestar stretched her muzzle forward. I want to tell you something. I want you to forgive me for sending you away. As she coughed, water bubbled at her lips, but she forced herself to keep going. Elkhart promised me Grapeful would be a good mother to you. She was, Stonefur meowed flatly. Bluestar flinched. I owe her so much. She wished she had more breath to explain. Elkhart, too, for mentoring you so well. Why hadn't I found a way to tell them this before? I watched you as you grew up and saw how much you had given to start the clan who adopted you. If I had only made a different choice, you would have given all your strength to ThunderClan. She shuddered, struggling for air. Forgive me. She stared at her kids, and time seemed to halt as she watched Mistyfoot and Stonefur exchange an uncertain glance. Please forgive me. She suffered a lot of pain for her choice. Fireheart pleaded for her. Please forgive her. Stop it! Forgiveness would mean nothing if it had been dragged from them. She willed Fireheart to hold his tongue. Mistyfoot bent her head and licked Bluestar's cheek. We forgive you, Bluestar. We forgive you. Stonefur echoed. Bluestar closed her eyes as her two kids began to lap at her drenched pelt. It was the first time she had shared tongues with them since the snowy day she had left them with Elkhart. There was no more need to cling to her last life. Fireheart would kindle a new flame and blaze through the forest in her place. The ThunderClan was safe. She closed her eyes and gave way to the dizzying blackness. Well, yeah, guys, that's 13 minutes full of a prologue, which was like, so it was like 28 pages long. Okay, I can go with that. But yeah, I'm going to end this video, and then we're going to get into chapter 1 on my next video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed.